Welcome to In the Classroom. This is an educational podcast making teaching and learning more transparent. Today I want to provide some feedback after week 1 to my Grammar and Context 2 class. And if you're interested in learning more about the classes that I offer and that I'm sharing and discussing here, feel free to reach out to me via Twitter. My handle's at BNLEEZ. Okay, for those of you who are taking Grammar and Context 2 this semester, we've just completed week 1, and I wanted to provide some feedback about the first assignment that we were to complete. Famous Courageous Person is the title. Again, you can find this in week 1 under Courage, under our folder for this first week. And the 3 main areas that I'd like to mention as you're reflecting on your work that you submitted for this first assignment. The first is how to go about developing a body paragraph. Take a look at your notes from last semester where you were asked to develop several different types of body paragraphs, and look specifically at your notes in terms of how to develop a topic sentence or the main idea of your paragraph, how to go about organizing and connecting the details of your sentences that are going to relate to your topic sentence. And then the very last sentence of a body paragraph should either conclude or summarize the paragraph, or it might connect the idea of that paragraph to a next paragraph if you're thinking in terms of an essay. I think for our purposes, thinking in terms of a summarizing sentence, since you're only asked to create one paragraph, would be the best approach. So when you're looking at your own work and you're evaluating your own body paragraph, make sure that you begin with the topic sentence or the main idea. Make sure that the details, the examples, the facts, the specifics of your paragraph follow some sort of organizational pattern that relates to coherence. And also make sure that you're using transitions or connectors. We talked about in class connecting ideas from one sentence to the next using sentence connectors. We can use introductory phrases, and we can also begin sentences with the subordinating clause. Those are 3, I think, common ways that we can connect our ideas from one sentence to the next. So take a look at your own work, and when you're considering future paragraphs, future assignments, take that into consideration. The last thing I want to mention here is plagiarism, and we need to be very careful about using someone else's words specifically in our own work. Now, for this particular assignment, I asked you to include links in your assignment to show where you got the information, and I also asked that you paraphrase all of your ideas. So the idea here is to try to include someone else's ideas, but use your own words. I think one of the easiest ways to do that, and we talked about this in class, is when you find some information that you want to write about or that you want to include in your paragraph, put it aside for, I would say, half an hour or so. Go and have a cup of coffee or do something else. Take your mind off of that particular idea, and then come back to it and then try to recall what information you want to include in your body paragraph. I think it's an easy way to avoid plagiarism and avoid using someone else's idea word for word. All right, so there were a couple of cases where I asked some of you to resubmit, and if you do have any questions about plagiarism or you're not sure, this is something that we can definitely talk about in class. Or if there's any feedback that I provided and you're not sure how to correct it or what I mean, there's a couple of ways that you can go about asking for assistance, right? You can ask questions in class, of course. You can send me an email in Schoology, or better yet, you can use the question forum in Schoology. I think this is a really good way that you can ask questions that probably some of your classmates will also have, and I can respond here and help not only you but also some of your classmates. All right, so I encourage you to submit questions to Schoology openly here. Of course, if you want to send me a private message, you can do that, and of course, you're encouraged, as always, to ask questions in class. The last thing I'll mention here, if you go into week 1, I added the error type codes, and this is a PDF file that you can refer to. A lot of times I will just include an abbreviation that relates to a particular type of error. So here you should be able to download this PDF file on your device. And it looks like I need to, let's see if I can do it here. View. Okay, this is the first time I've tried to open up a PDF. There we go. In my browser on my iPad. So you saw how I had to go about doing that, but I think it's a little bit easier if you're using the installed app on your phone. But this is the error code list. So if you see any of these codes, this is what it means. Again, if you're not sure what I mean by these errors or how to correct these errors, these are questions that we need to address. And I'm going to leave it up to you to ask me if you have questions about these particular errors. Again, ask me in class, send me an email, or better yet, post to the public question form in Schoology. One more thing I would like to add is make sure that when you submit your assignments that you follow instructions and that you include everything that's being asked to include in your assignment. This assignment for the first week of class, I ask you to include the question and the paragraph, and then below the paragraph include any links where you got the information that you included in your paragraph. So make sure that you follow instructions in the future to make sure that you're including all aspects of the assignment. So again, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll continue next week in week 2 covering a new topic. We're going to move from courage to experience. Next week we'll have some activities that relate to the notion of experience. This has been In the Classroom, an educational podcast making teaching and learning more transparent. Thanks for listening.